I wish that I could fly into the sky so very high.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze. I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze. I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze. I flow smooth like...
So I'm Cynthia Christina Harris, and I wrote this motherfucking play. If I do say so myself, I wrote the shit out of this thing. I really did. It's been a joy every night to watch it unfold on stage and to be a part of this really, really beautiful, talented cast. Ola Omi, Opanake, Naila, Tasneem. I have the deepest gratitude for these women and all their sacrifices and their family sacrifices for sharing these talented women with us for 6 weeks, 4 days of rehearsal. It was serious business, but we got the job done, and I knew that these were the soldiers to take into battle with me so that we could. I'm just full.
Hold on a little while longer. Hold on. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on. Hold on, sister. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on. Hold on, sister. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on. Hold on, sister. Hold on a little while longer. Hold on. She has been called into transition after a major emotional event. Something powerful enough to knock her off her feet and take her breath away. She has been pushed beyond all limits, finding herself at the edge of familiar territory. She knows that crossing the line at her feet may make her unknowable to her clan, to herself. Yet she walks forward anyhow with no knowledge of the rules governing this new land. The next choice is, while clear to her soul, break every rule.
Require new covenants with herself, more gradient in the measure.
A louder voice, a decisive severing action.
Travelers hit the road when they can't stay home, when standing still means drowning.
They make extreme choices when there are no reasonable, pretty, or quiet options available. Yelling when silence serves their oppression.
The traveler knows that her happiness and sanity are more important than external opinions. She has been attacked and offended and has no choice but to come out swinging. She knows the dangers. She knows she risks being labeled unlovable, raised on stories of unforgivable women. But the winds blow and the road calls.
The weary traveler may arrive angry, worn, and starving. And while she is best served by rest, she's not yet sure if more battles will arise. If she takes off her armor at the first resting post, will she be able to steady herself in time to meet the next blows?
More often than not, she will avoid family. Blood kin and the spaces they conduct are not hospitable. They overflow with need. They require the weary traveler contain herself and quiet herself. In a state of heightened awareness and sensitivity, the traveler only has room for her current vision, her present self, her now perspective. It is too distracting for her to be around people who clearly want her to think, be, or feel in some prescribed manner. These are ancient requirements, punishable, stubborn, defendable requirements. She prays,
I am no one's secret treasure, nor
Nor
property, nor
nor
honeypot of good fortune.
I am not toy,
nor
plaything, or source of amusement.
The traveler cannot tolerate hard boundaries and inflexibility. She's in need of a soft place to land. She's in need of course, and my pleasure. Not you shoulda. I told you, and well, did you try? The traveler will run for as long as is necessary. She'll run as long as her legs will carry her, and she will crumble in the process, if necessary. She prays.
I'm grateful for being able to think and act as I choose. I gladly sacrifice familiarity for freedom every time.
The weary traveler needs to meet the eyes of someone who has traveled too. Other women who have known flight.
She needs space to think. A simple routine and food prepared with love. She's tired of having to explain the obvious, tired of having to soothe other people's feelings.
The weary traveler has already put herself through an inquisition, and she still has many questions of her own. She knows that sometimes things are impossible and that
Walking off is necessary.
sometimes you have no choice but to take the clearest path. As unknowable and unnameable as that path may be. She asks,
How can you not understand? How
Can
can
you
you
know
know
all
all
the
the facts
and
still
still
question
question my
my
choices?
It is the arrogance of the questioner, the should be kid that's so painful. As though they have never faced the ego crushing that follows heartache and loss. Oh, she rejects.
work hard,
Be sweet.
be likable,
Give them cues
that you can be
trusted.
do
Anything
to
to be chose.
Do everything to overcome the assumptions
attached
to
to
bodies
bodies
like yours.
like yours.
Being on the road too long makes her forget civility. Like a soldier too long at war. She'll wander until the terrain shows signs of livability, until community appears. While others look upon the traveler bewildered, they say, oh, I could never. Well, those kinds of choices aren't required if
You're a good girl. If you go to school. If you are chosen by the right man.
If
If
you're
you're
smart,
smart,
if you're
if
pretty,
you're pretty,
if you get a good
if
job,
you get a good job,
if you worship the right God in the right way.
The weary traveler knows that it is an illusion, that any layers of identity could protect us from the uncertainties of life. She is fully aware that her status as an unprotected human leaves her open to any number of commonly accepted attacks.
And still, the weary traveler knows that this journey is sacred. She knows that truth is most important, even if there are no ears to hear or hearts courageous enough to hear it but hers.
Do not be lulled into thinking the weary traveler's journey is hers alone. She is our holy mirror,
Casting spells at the speed of light.
she electrifies those who witness her in action and gives us permission to explore our deepest desires. She calls to the wanderer in all of us, inching us closer and closer to the line. The line we know that if crossed will ask us to surrender every piece of us that makes us feel safe and protected.
Yeah.
Oshun, bring us great sweetness. Surround us in sweet, precious grace and ease during this transition. Oya, grant us power in the storm. Grant us flexibility and flow as you destroy and construct newness all around us. Let us drift and float in stride. Let us stay the course and farewell, trusting the current and the crashing wave, trusting in our own buoyancy, becoming weathered and learned of the tide. Let the receding wave unearth riches from the depths. May we be polished glass, glimmering in the sun, our rough edges and broken places smoothed and refined by the earthquakes, the hurricanes, and floods. Ashe.
You know, kitchens require truth telling. They are sacred. So when a sister calls you to the side, over the sink, outside of the gaze with palpable curiosity and suspicion, and she asks you, how is it over here? Over there? With those people. You answer her honestly, always. Words are not required. We say it all with the raised brow, the ever so slight curl of the lip. Understood in silence, words offered in code. Should elaboration be necessary, more for the relief of the teller, as all is readily known. This curiosity is an opening, a welcome post. Pause here. You say, I can hold what you need to lay down. Should elaboration be necessary, they know that this time is to celebrate our flight. In these moments, we honor the grandmothers who walked off. In these moments, we save each other. In these moments, we knot another stitch in the sacred fabric. This delicate tapestry floating high above, stretching and connecting all, created from sweat and string and tape and paper clips and gnawed fingernails and gum and tears and hope and thread spun from secrets, great burdens carried too long until finally relinquished. From below, this sacred fabric is unseen. From below, it appears like an elegant dancer flying high in the clouds. But to the women for whom flight is known, the grace and precision necessary to stay in flight is not merely an element of style. It is our style, our hope, and our belief that women who can fly will fly on and on and on.
Cheers to the baby girl and all of us! Woo!
everyone in the church turn to page 23. We'll be reading from the book of Expectations, 11 and 13. Give me a boom shakalaka when she counts. Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka. Be weary of excitement and over excessive praise.
They may want to consume you.
This could be a request for open access, an unencumbered opportunity to inspect.
Distinct from an open, delighted knowing.
Now this is critical and limited.
You are not meant to exist in your fullness.
Now that would be too much. Too much.
It will not be rewarded.
Now listen to me, children. They can only devour you in small pieces.
Small. Itsy bitsy. Anyway. Bikini. What is it about the space behind Mama's knees? The bend of her body. My hiding place. A resting mama. Working mama. Classy mama. Something so sacred and yummy about her presence. And the softness of her body while she sleeps on her side, just rising and falling. Behind Mama's bent knees, I store dolls and books, my most precious treasures. Everything I would need to entertain myself while Mama napped. I felt safe. Tucked away, resting my head on Mama's thighs. Careful not to wake her up unless someone called or came to the door. The TV turned to my favorite station, offered hours of cartoons. My giggles never disturbed her. An early exercise in trust. I was not to get up and roam around the house unsupervised. She wanted me close, at arm's length, just in case. She could sleep so deeply. But I became fully alerted by shifting too much in my portrait. My beautiful, resting mama, still working, protecting, and loving, even in her dreams.
No.
Yeah.
No. Most of us are working beyond exhaustion in all of our intimate relationships, be they familial, social, or romantic in nature. Now, it would seem that the overextended Black woman is the norm regardless of class. And in fact, class mobility seems to give us perhaps a more thorough to-do list. One that layers in guilt for anything that could be considered extra, and anything that does not serve this narrative of organized production and consumption is extra. All of our time and talents are expected to serve this general other. We are an assumed part of all things, an essential thread, and yet, while everything around us is valuable, we are not valuable ourselves. We are useful, but not valuable. We exist to serve in the common imagination at all times and in all spaces, and still our health and joy are required for sacrifice. These concepts of rest and black women hardly seem related. Rest is for us
Categorically unacceptable.
Now, let us take a moment to imagine the black woman resting. Not engaged in any service-oriented activity. Now, what thoughts and feelings arise? This image usually prompts some variation of the question, what did she do to earn that rest? And if she did not earn that rest, we label her as lazy. Oh, you can see the disgust.
It's never hidden.
Our leisure is a garish display of sloth. Our rest is somehow always so inconvenient for everyone around.
Yes.
And they scurry to find labor for the resting woman. Mommy! 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 Baby! Babe! Excuse me, could you just take on some huge part of work for me in this whole new task while I act like it's no big deal? And always, just when you close your eyes or sit down to pee, just when you think you have efficiently checked everything off your to-do list. I mean, even this notion of earning rest assumes that in our collective imagination, this rest can indeed be earned, and that we can ever be deemed worthy of. Because if a black woman has time and space to rest, well, then naturally she should be assigned more work. And if we can't rest, we can't work our magic. We have to sit still and think in order to survive. We have to process and heal from all the little assaults all day long, every day. And we end up wearing that distress in our bodies. Oh, they'll write prescriptions for all the trauma-induced chronic diseases, all the loss. They ain't gonna leave you alone.
Leave us alone.
We're tired of spending so much time recovering. So, this concept, again, rest in our imagination is absolutely necessary for optimal health. So, if black women do not deserve rest, then too, black women don't deserve optimal health. Can you live with that? If not, please consider the following. In order to support the brilliance, sanity, and restorative solitude of black women, you can begin with just a few simple steps. Number one, release the assumption that the farming out of our time and thinking is somehow natural or appropriate. Number two, properly compensate black women for everything we do using the commonly accepted currency, and no praise and bartering are not acceptable. Number three, support our leadership everywhere you see us leading. And
Come on, daughter.
number four, the next time you hear the brilliance flow from our mouths, do not then ask us to turn that brilliance over to a man so he can get the credit and benefit of what we have created.
The true choices exist, and they rarely do. Approach with caution.
There's always a tax.
There's always a tax.
trying to think like, act like, smell like, be like something else. Something false. An imaginary something that doesn't exist in real time. Because womanhood is something dark, damn, deep, dirty, nasty, funky, and powerful in a way that means that it must be tamed, shut down, controlled, and pushed to the inner recesses of our psyche to the point where we as women are not really sure that women actually exist. That's just the sex-crazed fantasies of a few nymphos, right? Because what among the commonly accepted imagery actually represents the real woman? Prophetess Juanita Bynes. No. Okay, let me try again. Hold on. Give me a chance. Okay, now. Aisha Curry. Yeah, she was here. That's not. Oh. Okay, I got it. This is it, y'all. I know this is the one. Black China.
Oh.
Yeah. I haven't answered that question for myself, actually. In the meantime, I'm working on coming undone.
She come undone.
This is an exhortation of sorts that's cried out whenever a woman gets too loud, or takes up too much space, or speaks her truth unapologetically. She's come undone when
we are not controlled.
Now don't get me wrong. I can be the empress of control. Soft, dulcet voice, smooth, tender touch, not rattled by anyone or anything, eternally at peace in any situation. Because that makes it sound like it's something good, like it's something laudable, like it's something you're supposed to seek out and cleave unto yourself. But I feel so much better when I'm undone. Woo! There's not a tight knot in my throat. My chest doesn't ache, my back and my neck don't hurt, and I'm not nauseous from swallowing so much shit. Because we all know that swallowing pain is one of the duties of a good woman. Hell, I even had a lover from the Gambia tell me that women were created to take pain, while men were expected to experience untold amounts of pleasure. I'm in the midst of an internal battle to remain undone. It is an everyday war.
It's a fight for my life,
For my breath.
For my sanity.
for my health.
Y'all interpreted this correctly. You ain't got it wrong. I am consciously working on being the crazy bitch. The fatal attraction hoe. The insatiable freak. The baby mama with the drama. Because it's a lie not to be this part of ourselves. And it is fatal to lose this part of ourselves in the attempt to be done. It is suicidal. So yes, she's come undone.
She refuses to breathe life into lives anymore.
To sit idly by and take shit anymore.
She's not assisting you in abusing her anymore.
She's not a cog in the wheel of oppression.
Nor brick builder for the patriarchal white supremacist period. She a wild girl.
Yeah.
She's shocking. She got funny ways. She sometimes thoroughly, utterly, and completely
expectation? Follow up. Turn to the book of expectations. Chapter 11, verses 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Your invisibility shall be required. You will move around as if all around you is fragile and easily sold. You will know yourself in distinct, even fractions.
It will begin at home, at birth, for the girl child, shaming her into invisibility for safekeeping. She'll be chastised, called fast and grown, as if her world won't require that.
Shame, 'cause shame works best, cuts at the soul and lingers. Part of every question, every heavily weighted decision, passed down without question. Inheritance and burden. And yet it's the best we have to give a girl child if she's even to have just the smallest chance of surviving. The world around her ain't gonna change. Won't be no room for her brown body to exist just for its own sake.
A hard kind of love, but necessary. If you can learn to be small enough, you'll stay safe.
They might let you walk home alone. Maybe they'll pass you by and not stop that truck. Take the time to pile out and darken the midnight sky forever. Maybe if you're nice enough and forgiving, you can make it home. Maybe they'll let mama keep you a little while longer. Maybe they'll let you keep all that sweet brilliance to yourself. Let you keep your wallet.
Shame stays with you for those times outside of mama's eyesight, when she can't stand between you and frying pans on the back of school buses, or shield you from the wolves and fools, those determined that you've been animated for their attention alone. You couldn't have existed before.
In the absence of our protection, we give from our chests of fears and hopes tightly packaged possibilities of all that she might be, or come to know for herself, her own sense of something.
This gift of invisibility is all that will cover and protect you. It is what our mothers have known, all that they have to give us.
Whew. You know, it's changed so many times over the course of this production. I think after everything coming together, for me, a flying woman is the woman that couldn't settle, that couldn't stay down. Is a woman that won't take no for an answer when she needs a yes. And is tenacious. Is tenacious in her pursuit of her own freedom, you know, of her passions, of her truth.
She is a flying woman because she recreates herself every day and defies all the norms of our society in order to live the life she dreams of.
To me, a flying woman is someone who is pursuing her dreams, going forward and trying to grasp all of the achievements, all the ideas, all of the visions that she has in her mind. A flying woman is someone who is on pursuit of those dreams and visions.
Yes, well, a flying woman is a woman who goes about life using her own intuition, following her own path, and not really settling for what is traditionally thought to be what women should or should not have. She has her own way of walking, dressing, talking, being, but the most important thing is that she doesn't forsake her spirit. And so she follows her spirit to help her do whatever it is that she needs or wants to do.
Just the woman rising, kind of a phoenix type thing. Just the natural back and forth, the natural ebb and flow of life. There's a particular type of vibration that a woman gets on her when she's rising from something like that. And it's always so beautiful, so powerful to witness. And for me, that's the kind of women I like to surround myself with, the women who have risen from the ashes. Because that's the woman who got something to teach you.
So a flying woman, to me, has gone through many facets of the experience of her journey to become herself. She has sometimes family by her side to support her, sometimes not. She is becoming, and she also has the support and the love of those who have come before her.
To me, a flying woman is a woman who's convinced that she's supposed to be airborne at some point in her life. And that she maintains this drive to figure out how she can stay in flight. Knowing that no one lives up there. You don't stay in flight forever. But that her life should include some airtime. That there should be some element of buoyancy and ascension, and that her job may be to not just want that kind of buoyancy, but also to find the people who could help her stay there.
This black magic, this woman's alchemy is called for when we find ourselves trapped in a grove of rotting sour fruit, and still a sweet tonic must be made. This is survival. This is the blackest craft, not recommended, but unavoidable. The predators find us on the path sometimes.
Unprotected,
Disconnected.
Unloved.
And yet still so full of light.
He came hungry, smiling and singing a hazy, shadowy song. Such an easy fog to disappear into. And I thought I could hide there in his scars and secrets. Should I have told him that I'm on the run? All the things I dare not speak, that I am seeking refuge, having failed at maintaining, serving silently, and being pleasing, that I have been dancing on broken glass and smiling. Every now and then he'd say, I think you love me, but you don't like me. Listing all the reasons I was better in his company, saying anything he could think of to make me feel something in relation to the idea of him. He was not concerned about the separation between fact and fiction. Finding a place to swallow it down, I decided, without knowing, that I could survive whatever this was.
we all know the scale.
The
The
isolation
isolation is
gets
heavy sometimes.
Let that burn down. It ain't till after we carry it for a ways we realize it ain't our house.
Survival. That is all I wanted. Something to mark the day, something to just let them drift by. Because feeling had become dangerous, exhausting, and I needed to be numb. I couldn't feel everything all day and survive. I felt cornered. I knew that as an unclaimed woman, it was expected that my time be everyone's. I am an extension of my clan until claimed by partnership or parenthood, and I needed myself, or whatever threads were left. Still shaken from falling mid-flight, not sure, not ready to trust my feet or wings. And I could be free with him. No rules, just a moment. He would hide with me and let me consume myself with him, and I was a ravenous outcast on walkabout. I could not go home. When he found me wandering in the wilderness, I thought he was a fellow traveler.
This is black magic, a watery, intentional alchemy.
Not to be discussed casually over brunch or recommended.
Or offered during times of bloodthirsty revenge. This magic is hidden in the bottom of bacon grease jars. The art of useful maximization. Adding, subtracting.
The rules state,
An unclaimed woman
Is
available
for any and all labor.
after asking for room to be human and being denied, I ran, attempted flight, and stumbled into him. He was the perfect distraction. I welcomed his availability, his willingness to let the days pass, to stay in bed longer, to always have a guy.
He was perfectly designed to pass the time.
And his presence, not his goodness, granted me very real space from that exacting labor expected by kin to produce, generate, be hands, keep the peace, help please the beast. But if under ownership of your own beast, you may be excused. A warm handoff, not official, but a temporary order until a full request for ownership is granted. In these shadows, a woman loses and finds herself. She thought this might happen once and assumed that she could be prepared for such an event. She did not yet know of the shadow's bending power, that time would stand still and loop without her consent, that Saturdays could lose their sweetness and she would crawl, feeling her way blindly, fingertips sorting out the familiar. And it was all dangerous, volatile. No choice came as a gift. Every inch of space was earned. There were no intuition, no warnings, just happenings and collisions. She was not prepared for such a series of events. She did not yet know that breaking would have been easier than bending.
Breaking would have been easier than bending. Breaking would have been easier than bending. Breaking would have been easier than bending. Breaking would have been easier than bending.
Bending meant never being able to forget the things that made her feel. The little glimpses of herself as she was before loving. And it was all so dangerous, so difficult. Everything was too hard. She stopped singing around her house. She stopped laughing in her bedroom. She stopped dancing. And she came to believe that she might never recover.
Remembering the heart in the aftermath of loving you, needing you, using you as salve. After all of it, there is now a line that I cannot cross again. You are the line that I cannot cross again.
It is easy to hate a stranger. It's easy to feel deeply connected with someone with whom you've shared a sense of suffering or survival. Love remains when we've labored together. Love and connection remain when you've witnessed me at my most vulnerable moment. When you were my sanctuary. When you were the best I could do. When you were all I deserved. When you were the only one who could accompany me in the darkness. When you loved me. To everyone else I was unforgivable, unlovable, unrecognizable. But you saw something useful. And I thought that might mean you might love me if I shared what little I had with you. I found out that hurt is not the end of love. Hurt does not extinguish feeling or erase history. I'm supposed to hate him now. I cannot. This is the secret I keep to myself. The secret I keep from the relatives who saved me, who pulled him out of my house so that I could breathe. And from the sisters who picked me up off the ground after I lost the baby. I say this, and I still do not romanticize the details. There's no reward for my nobility. After loving you, am I supposed to be ashamed of you, of myself, for allowing this to happen? For showing up and returning to you when there was no place else to go.
I chose it. I chose to take you on as my responsibility for all the ways. It was easier to perceive what I thought was your healing instead of mine. I never told you you were only good enough for now. These are the secrets that I only tell my closest confidants, who can understand the complexities of negotiating closeness.
I birthed myself in that year after losing you. That abo of blood, deep red clumps of you and I. I am stepping forward on the path again. After years of standing and questioning at the crossroads, I've chosen a new direction. After a time of having an absence of faith, waiting on something. One sign wasn't enough. Many exit points came and went, and I stood there, waiting for the storm to pass, waiting for the timing to be right, waiting, dying. It took a while to notice the difference after numbing myself with you. I became more shadow than woman, more sketch than full color rhythm. A content lifelessness.
Because I was working and had good insurance, it only cost me $250. $250 and a new mattress set to lose you. I cleaned everything else. The bathroom rugs, the shower curtains, all the towels. I even took 1 week off work. I felt guilty because I didn't have enough sick days. But I figured that if I couldn't make the journey from my car to the office without getting lightheaded, that it was permissible to sit still. I grieved so many things on that blood-soaked mattress. Why hadn't I known? Why did I doubt my body so ferociously that I missed the opportunity to know that I was pregnant, even for a little while? No one could have been worse. Could have made me shaky in decisions where I needed to be firm. That sad-ass week on that sad-ass mattress, I was numb, still in shock and obsessing over the fact that somehow you had survived and I was going to make a person, a living, feeling, breathing person. With a shitty-ass daddy? Hell no. I was going to make a person all by myself, raised by my tribe of kindred spirits. My sisters were going to wrap their arms around me and carry me into a present moment that would have contained a tiny brown face that would have looked like mine, with small traces of yours.
And so I find myself in the midst of a painful breakup. He is telling me that my perception of things is off. That I'm seeing something that isn't there. That I'm misjudging, misconstruing, and misunderstanding the entire situation. These words, while coming from my significant other, are actually the voice of my own fears. Every moment I'm asking myself, am I seeing something that isn't there? Am I being too harsh? Am I deceiving myself? Before spiraling into the abyss of self-deprecation, I force a full stop. And I take a moment for ritual self-care. Just a moment to love only myself, to honor only myself, and to hear only my own voice. This gives me peace. And I realize that I may be misjudging, misunderstanding, prejudging. But for right now, I'm going to believe my own eyes. Because my eyes, my ears, and my heart have no reason to lie to me. So for right now, I'm going to trust these old measly 5 senses and believe myself and my perception. This epiphany gives me peace in the midst of this cyclone of pain. It allows me to inhale deeply. It quiets the internal chatter. It shuts down the back and forth, and it silences the what ifs. And I am empowered. And I am free.
I have my mother's hands, held in my mother's hands, molded by my mother's hands. I am now my mother's hand.
I was watching a documentary the other night. You know, about Quincy D. Light Jones. D-Light. No doubt, he's an amazing artist and personality. But there was something about the way that the people close to him, particularly his first wife and daughter, referred to him as complicated. It got me to thinking about the ways in which we expect to make space for talented men to focus on their art as their first priority. So I started to wonder, will they call me a complicated woman? Or will I be this hard bitch, selfish, uncaring? Didn't learn those things a daughter was supposed to, that prepare her for those things that a wife is supposed to prepare her for those things that a mother is supposed to. I guess I couldn't get it right. I never could fit there. Will I be this tough dyke who didn't need nobody and couldn't accept her brother as her keeper? Modeling how not to be. They point, they say, oh, no, honey, you don't want to be that kind of woman. No, you won't ever. Well, you can't ever. How dare you not want somebody? How dare you not want to be Mr. Somebody's woman? Will they say I deserted my people, forgot my way home, and how to make my mama proud? Did I fail her somehow? Worshipping this mass that my soul calls home. Will they carry me in their hearts, names on lists, in prayer circles, or just their hands? No hope for me now. Will I be anybody's play mama, little sister, auntie, or just a lost sheep? Too black for mantles and stories told during company visits. Will they call me a complicated woman? Hell, will they call my name at all?
I am she whose footsteps carve canyons. I am she whose voice calls the lightning, the thunder, and the rain.
I am she who is never without her favorite things. I am she who chooses one too many.
I am she who is filled with ecstasy, abundance, and bliss. I am she who is filled with immeasurable darkness.
I am she who stands tall in the midst of adversity. I am she who knows her worth. I am she who sings with the stars and the galaxies. I am she who speaks to the moon.
I am she who cuts and destroys. I am she who begins and ends all things.
I am she who is blossoming to her full advantage. I am she who speaks her own name loudly.
I am she who recites scripture while pussy popping on her hands.
I am she who is pampered by the ancestors. I am she who loves her community. I am she who bathes in the ocean. I am she who makes love in rivers.
I am wild she. I am free she. I am she. I am she. Oh, honey. I am she.
Yes, you are. She.
Speaking of that, I've been rolling around in my psyche for about a month or so. This idea of the black woman being too much. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's an image that little black girls are raised with, right? We too big, we too black, we too emasculated, we too dominating, we too overbearing. to negate our bigness. And we torture ourselves anytime we ask for anything at all. But then one day,
What happened?
we bust wide open. And we realize that all of our tender, juicy parts are in fact her. Our joy, our love, our pain, and our pleasure are her. On that day we dance.
Yes.
On that day, we shout. On that day we holler. I have accepted that I am too much.
Yes, you are.
I'm too much. For anybody who has gazed upon my visage, spent a little bit of time with me, been made love to by me, and still says, you're too much. You ask for too much. You expect too much. You want too much. He, she, they, it are absolutely correct. I am too much, and my sincerest prayer for them is that they find a mediocre bitch. With a mediocre life that feels like just enough. 'Cause I ain't her. I pray that my too muchness shines out as a bright, bold beacon and wards off anybody that's not ready for what I'm walking with. 'Cause now it ain't easy to be with me. And all the rumors that you've heard are true, baby. It's even harder to keep me. I'm precious and rare.
Like what?
Like a motherfucking hoe. Like a Harvard Law degree. Like snow. In Tennessee. In July. I own my too muchness.
Yes, you are.
I'm not the path of least resistance. I am not TV. You know, there's a story that was told by our ancestral mothers. They talked about Odidere, the African gray parrot, and how she got her red tail feathers. Odidere had a way of wielding her sexual prowess, her intellect and her beauty that made others jealous. So they placed irritating herbs upon her stool that turned her glorious bottom a bright red. Odidere was ashamed, and she was taunted and teased until she owned her red bottom. All of herself with it.
Yes. Oh, yes.
She began to dance in the nude, bouncing her red bottom for the whole world to see.
That's right.
The elders stood transfixed, and they said, "This is what we need to set our destinies in order."
Yes.
Yeah. Black woman, brown woman, red woman, African woman, she who dances with her red tail feathers, she who is complete in and of herself. Come on, dance with me, girl. I can hear you playing outside.
flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I work every day for this. Yeah. I am a miracle in that I am simply here. Yes. I made space for myself when no one thought I was deserved. When all you saw of me was a one-dimensional sketching, here I am living, honey, in full bloom and color. Allow me to introduce myself. I am a figment of your imagination, a self-actualized apparition, a fear you repressed a few centuries ago. What you see before you is a woman living full, living free.
Yes.
I flow smooth like water, blow like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I'm not supposed to exist in this universe. A freak of nature. Unpredictable. Act right peculiar. Got the nerve to consider my feelings before any others. Gave up being selfless.
That's right.
Because I finally remembered that essential to being is having a self to be in. Had to incorporate the word no into my recipe. Sprinkle it liberally. Several dashes here and there. But when folk think they know what's best for me and try to call my pockets and impede on my casual comings and goings. No thank you, precious Lamb of God, I learned to say. Now, I'm not going to be able to do that particular thing right there. No, tomorrow ain't no better. Next week, neither. In fact, mark me down as hell no. Fuck off, I had to repeat that. I'm so smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I'm so smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I'm so smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I'm so smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I come across so easy and not delivered. Syrupy sweet, words like candy give your ears cavities if you listen too long.
Did you catch it?
I flow smooth, shapeshifter, well adapted, always adapting. Fucker, get ready, I stay. Like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I'm so smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I'm so smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I'm so smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
Go ahead, exclude me with your definitions of good and acceptable. Exclude me, just leave me on out there. Degrade my image in one beat and then come around and imitate it in the next. Dissect me into tiny little pieces until each is a profitable commodity and still my essence can't be fully understood or contained. I know how to survive under the harshest conditions. A child of abundance and faith tapped into an endless source of creativity. You can't knock me off my stroll. I was built for this. Like water, I flow smooth. I am the breeze. I flow smooth. Like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like
I flow smooth like water, blow cool like breeze.
I flow smooth like
I flow like I flow
The walls of this place are wet and slick and rough and gleaming. Clink plunks of dripping water add rhythm to our grief. They say this is a valley, but they see only with 2 eyes. They don't know. This place with its rocky daggers pricking our souls and pinpoints of light lifting our eyes is not a valley. This is a ledge, not a line. This is an experience, not an eternity. This here is a situation, not a sanctuary. This is our lesson, not our legacy. This is not a valley. We don't live here. We are just visitors who soon will have stayed too long. In time, we don't leave this place. We will climb out. We will levitate, ascend, and be gone. Hot, hungry hands will release their grasp on our ankles, our calves, our knees, our thighs, our waist, our nipples, our neck, and we will gulp air. Inhale, sis. Inhale. May the truth seek and find us. May it make us sigh. Maybe even weep. My God. Has it been our own weight binding our feet in place? Are those your fingers suckling your throat? Did you bolt the door and swallow the key when opportunity swung it wide open? Who cut your kite string, sis? And how did that razor find your hand? So what did you say? When opportunity whispered, oh, go, leave, come on, baby girl. Did you cement your steps in fear, fatigue, and shadowy stillness? So what are we gonna do next time, huh? What will we do when spirit summons us again and promises that feel good and elevation await? Will we trust and move? Or are we gonna stay and moan? Yes, the walls of this place are wet and slick and rough and gleaming. But our fingers will find notches, and our toes will find footing to twirl and spin and lift our way out. This is not a valley. This ain't home. Picture this a promised land that whispers and wails deliverance and catapults us into change when we are ready. In time, with sun-kissed cheeks and arms held heaven high, we will lower our gaze and gasp at the rugged restlessness below. We will bless it with our tears and call it memory. We will lift our eyes to the sky and flex our wings, and we will fly. We will fly.
Oshun, bring us great sweetness. Surround us in sweet, precious grace and ease during this transition. Oya, grant us power in the storm. Grant us flexibility and flow as you destroy and construct newness all around us. Let us drift and float in stride. Let us stay the course and farewell, trusting in the current and the crashing wave, trusting in our own buoyancy, becoming weathered and learned of the tide. Let the receding wave unearth the riches from the depths. May we be polished glass, glimmering in the sun. Our rough edges and our broken places just smoothed and refined by the earthquakes, the hurricanes, and floods. Ashe.
I have been a flying woman. And what that means to me is when you get tired of all the mess, when you get tired of all the hurts, when you get tired of all the repression, when you get tired of all the depression, you have to take flight. You have to say enough is enough. And you have to step out and go on your own. Even though it may hurt someone, even though it may crush you and hurt you at that moment. But as Cynthia interpreted through her play, you're going to rise again. You're going to be able to find yourself. You're going to find that thing within you that says, this is okay. It was okay to leave. You're going to be great again. It'll be fine.
So, my opinion, like every fiber of my body was in unison and in agreement with what I saw, what I heard, and what I felt. Every story that was shared, every prayer that was stated, every song, every movement, every moment spoke to every part of every level of woman that I am, that I've been before, that I will be, that I gave birth to, and that gave birth to me.
Very poetic. I love the language. I love the language where you don't expect things to be described the way they were. It was very beautiful, powerful.
I had tears the moment I heard them singing when they were at the first entrance on stage. I was already in tears. You could just feel the ancestral sort of female plight, it was in their voices, in their song, and it was very touching from the beginning.
I'll say that I enjoyed the challenge of getting in touch with my feminine side during that.
Very cool.
I know her, I know where some of this stuff comes from, and to see what she's done with that, like taking her experience and making it into something, that's if we could all do that with our life and still gonna give it back to people in a powerful way.
Right.
Man.
That's what we gotta do.
That's what we gotta do.
That's what we gotta do.
So it just confirmed that message was timely. We were greatly welcomed. We had all sorts of folks in our audience, and everybody got what they needed. So we've been saying from the beginning of this process, and I have been reminding my actors, make sure you get your medicine from this experience, because I believe that it's supposed to first bless us and feed us and give us what we need for ourselves, whatever that may be, and then we touch the audience when we are so full that energy overflows into everyone else, and there's no way around that.